everyone, it's Meg and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, we are actually in a different setting today. That's because I'm actually in my sister's room. I have decided that this is going to be my new office because I usually share an office with my parents, but I've discovered that I like my own space. And we are in the office because I am going to be doing a slightly different twist on a video that I do fairly regularly, which is my recent reads video. And I have realised over the past coming months I don't really enjoy doing recent reads videos. I feel like I did really used to enjoy doing them, but these days I don't know why. I feel like I'm not very good, and I don't really enjoy being like super critical on like novels and stuff, like when I'm reading them and talking about them, even though I do love to annotate, but it's something that I don't enjoy doing and I don't think I'm very good at. So I just feel like it makes me less inclined or want to kind of talk about books, unless if I really love them, of course, then I could gush about them forever in these videos. So I saw Brit from Basically Brit do a video where she talked about some books she had read recently, but she did it while she was painting, and that's basically what I'm going to do in this video. I thought it'd be fun. I'm not like a professional artist or anything, not as good as Brit. I just honestly do painting because it's very therapeutic. Like, I've really discovered drawing and painting this year for helping me calm my mind, and it's something very relaxing that I like to do. So that's what we're going to do today, and I've got some new paint that I want to try out as well. So we're just going to have a play, see what happens, and I'm going to talk about my books. And it's been a while since I've done one of these videos. I've got about 8 books to talk to you guys about. I do have them right next to me, but I can't really hold them up whilst I am painting because that'd be rather difficult, and I can't really show you my painting whilst I am painting because, again, I don't really have anywhere that I can put the camera where the lighting is good, where you can see what I'm painting at the same time. So I'm probably going to put a picture up of the books here, so then you can obviously see what book I'm talking about. And also, I'm not going to go over these books too much because quite a lot of them I have featured in quite a few reading vlogs, whether they have their own reading vlog or just general reading vlogs. So I will leave as many of those as I can in the description if you want to go and check them out. There are 2 books on here that definitely have their own reading vlogs, so go and check those out if you want to hear like my full thoughts on them. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. So just in case you want to know what I'm painting, I'm going to paint a moon because I got some black paint the other week and I've got some new blue paint, so I'm going to try that. So you can't see, but I have drawn a circle, so we're going to start off by, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I don't even have a reference picture, so we're just going to see what happens. But the first book that I'm going to talk about is Nick and Charlie by Alice Oseman, and this is a Heartstopper novella. And in case you didn't know here, I know I have quite a few people that are quite new on my channel, which is lovely, so hi. And I really love Alice Oseman's novels in general, but I especially love her Heartstopper series. And this book takes place 2 years after the 3rd volume of Heartstopper comes out. So yeah, 2 years after that, and it is basically about Nick and Charlie, and Nick is going off to university, and it's basically about their relationship and like where it's going, because obviously Charlie is a year younger, so he's staying behind at home, and then obviously Nick's going off to university on the other side of the country. So it's about their relationship basically, and I'm not going to talk about this one too much because I do have a reading vlog that is mainly for this book. So again, go and check out the links in the description if you want to go and hear my full thoughts on it. But it's really cute. It's very short. There are some really lovely illustrations in there that Alice has done as well. And it's just nice to see their relationship take on a different level, because obviously it tackles long distance relationships, and obviously that doesn't work for everybody, but it does for some other people. And I just really love kind of seeing them explore that idea, kind of knowing or questioning where they are going to take their relationship next. So yeah, it was really cute. Definitely recommend it if you are a Alice Oseman fan, if you are a Heartstopper fan and you have not picked it up yet. It's a really cute, fun and easy read, and it was a lot of fun. So I've attempted to cover this whole thing in water. Hopefully I've done enough, because I don't think the paper that I bought is very good quality. But the next book that I'm going to talk about is Loveless by Alice Oseman, so another Alice Oseman book, and I'm not going to talk about this a lot because I have an entire reading vlog dedicated to this book, and I was very excited for this book. It's one of my most anticipated releases for the year, and I don't think it disappointed like at all. If you don't know what this book is about, it is about our main character Georgia, and it's about her in her first year of university, and she is going to uni with her best friends, and it is mainly about her, firstly her like discovering the university, kind of like living her first year at university and university life, and then it's also about Georgia discovering her sexuality as she is asexual and aromantic, and this was mainly why I was so excited about this book, because this is Own Voices, which is also amazing, and also I've never read about an asexual or aromantic character before, and it's something that I don't know a lot about. Sexuality I don't know a lot about, so I was very much looking forward to educating myself on it, and I learned a lot about it, and I found quite a lot of it quite relatable, and it was just so lovely. Like, you had Alice Oseman's like very funny British witty writing. I love the characters in this. That's one of my favourite things about it. And also I love the exploration with Georgia discovering her own sexuality, and kind of myself and obviously Georgia learning about asexuality and what asexuality is. And I also love the talk about friendship in here, and how different kinds of love other than romantic love, because obviously society tells us all this ideas of how we should like grow up and get married and have kids and have a house and all that sort of thing, but it's not something that everybody wants. And I really love the exploration for that, and about how we are told that, or it is not told, but we are made to think that we have to have everything done by a certain time, and the pressures that come with that. And I just really love the exploration for that, and I think it might be my favourite Alice Oseman book yet. Might be quite a bold statement, but I feel like it might be. But it's absolutely a wonderful book. If you have not picked it up yet, I know quite a few people have probably read it already, but I definitely recommend you pick it up. It is a really wonderful book, and I think it's one of Alice's best works yet, in my personal opinion. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and definitely go and check out the vlog I did for this if you want to hear my full thoughts on it. This paint is very black. I don't really know what I'm doing, but we are working with it. So the next book that I have is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Azevedo, and this was again one of my most anticipated releases of the year, even though I wasn't super excited about this book, just for the factor that I wasn't as keen on the storyline. I didn't feel like it'd be something I'd enjoy and connect with more, I guess. It just didn't appeal to me as much, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But I wanted to give it a go anyway, because Elizabeth is one of my favourite authors, and I must admit, I think this is my least favourite Elizabeth Azevedo book that I have read yet. I've read all of her work so far, and I don't really know why. I really struggled to get through it. Like, I feel like it's mainly for the fact that I couldn't connect to the story, but I feel like it's not really a story I could connect to anyway. I honestly don't know why I didn't like it as much, which I'm really sad about, because I was hoping it might surprise me, but you know, I guess it didn't. But reading this book made me just appreciate how beautiful Elizabeth Azevedo's writing is. There's a reason why I love her so much, and her writing, it is just absolutely stunning. So that was a plus to come out of it, but yeah, I'm disappointed that I didn't like it, and I know I should pinpoint why, I just don't know why, which is really weird. So yeah, I'm really sad that I didn't end up enjoying it, but she's still one of my favourite authors, and I am definitely going to continue reading every book that she publishes. Next up we have Boy Queen by George Lester, and I got this book in a subscription box, and it was so much fun to read this. This book is about 18-year-old, is it 18? he's 17 or 18, I think he turns 18 in this book, boy called Robin, and he is a drama kid, he's a theatre kid. That is what he wants to do. He wants to go to work in the theatre, and then he is obviously applied to some drama schools, and he doesn't end up getting in. And that happens, like, that's not a spoiler because it's like in the first few chapters of the book. So basically Robin ends up in a bit of a slump, and then he's always known what drag is, but he's never really known if he wanted to do it. And then he goes to see a drag show for his birthday, and he is mesmerised by these queens, and he decides that he wants to do drag, and it's his exploration into drag and kind of figuring out what he wants to do for the next year before reapplying to university. And it's just so much fun, this book. I really enjoyed it. George's writing style is so easy and so witty. I did enjoy the characters, and I loved the exploration in drag in this. I've only read a couple of books dealing with drag, and if you don't know, I really, really love drag. It's one of my favourite things in the whole entire world. So I was really happy to be able to discover a new book that talked about drag, and it was one of the main subjects. And yeah, it was just a lovely book as well into like self-exploration and kind of figuring out what you want to do with your life, but I guess for a slightly younger generation than myself. But I really, really enjoyed this, and if you are a fan of drag, I highly recommend you pick this book up. Even if you're not, I think you should pick it up. I think it's just so much fun, but it does definitely have a deeper meaning as well. And also, I'd probably say trigger warning for homophobia if that is something that you are sensitive to, that you, just so you know before going into this book. But it is absolutely wonderful. I really enjoyed it. I got through it rather quickly. I read it when I was on holiday. I read it in about 3 or 4 days, which is actually very quick for me. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see what George comes out with next, because I think his books are so much fun. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens next. Next up, we have Expectation by Anna Hope, and I really didn't like this book, like, much at all, really, which I'm really disappointed by. I first heard about this book, a couple of my friends were reading it on, and they were gonna read it for a book club, and I was so excited when I heard about it. And the storyline, it seems like it's right up my street. It's to do with like feminism and kind of not becoming the person that you're meant to be. It's kind of like a self-discovery story, I guess, to a certain extent. So obviously I was all about that life, because that's the sort of story that I love. It's the sort of story that's kind of similar to the novel that I am writing, and I was just so excited to get into it. So I picked a copy up, and it took me about 3 weeks to read this, which isn't bad. It's not a bad thing, but it just felt like this book dragged, and it wasn't a very long book. And I just didn't click with the writing style. Firstly, this book is compared to Normal People, but tackling female friendships instead of romance. And I never finished Normal People. I didn't get very far with it at all. I just didn't click with the writing style. I wasn't a fan of the story. I don't know if I'll ever go back to it or not. So that was maybe the first red flag, because unfortunately I didn't click with that story. And then secondly, I don't know, it just wasn't what I expected it to be, which isn't a bad thing. I was just, probably had my expectations, I get it because of the name of the book, was a little too high, I think. That's probably my issue that I had. It's probably a bit too high, which obviously is never a good thing when going into books sometimes. And yeah, I just felt like it was dragged, and I don't feel like much happened. This book is basically about these 3 girls, and the book starts with the first chapter when they are in their late 20s and they are living in London together, and it's like the world is their oyster. And then the rest of the book is set like 5 or 6 years later, and their lives haven't turned out the way that they thought they would, and it's kind of about the fallout of that and what they are doing with their lives now, what happens next, etc. So yeah, it just wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought there would be kind of much more of a transformation, and just there were some bits that I were a bit funny about. It's been a little while since I've read quite a few of these books, but yeah, I just I wasn't a fan personally, which I'm really sad about because I was really hoping to love this book, and I know that it has got a lot of good reviews. But yeah, unfortunately that happens sometimes, so I'm very sad. But maybe I'll pick another Anna Hope book up in the future and enjoy it more. Like, we shall see. So the next book that I read was a Snowfall of Silver by Laura Wood, and this is a book that also has its own reading vlog, so again, check out the description if you want to go and see that. And if you are new on this channel, I know quite a lot of you will know this already, I am a massive Laura Wood fan, like absolutely humongous. I adore her books so much. She's probably my favourite YA author, and this book is her third YA novel, and she writes historical fiction. And basically it is a companion novel to her first novel, which is A Sky Painted Gold. And this follows Freya, who is one of the sisters of our main character from the first book. And it is about Freya. This book is set in 1931, and it is about Freya, and she runs away to London to become an actress. And it is about her when she joins a travelling theatre company, and it is just about her adventure and about how her journey and what she wants to be doesn't necessarily end up being what she's imagined it. It's about rediscovering her passion, rediscovering what she wants to be and what she wants to do in her life. And it is just wonderful. I'm not going to talk about it too much again because, like I said, it's in a reading vlog, but I adored this book so much. Obviously I gave it 5 stars because it was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it so much. Freya was a very different character compared to Laura Wood's other characters. She is a lot more, she has a vision, she knows what she wants to do in her life, whereas Laura's other characters don't really have as much of a vision in those other books. They're still kind of figuring out what they want to do with their lives. But I absolutely adored this book. Laura's writing is wonderful. I loved how it's set in like the winter instead of summer, and kind of seeing how Laura describes the season, and it is just wonderful. Like, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because, like I said, I could be here all day talking about it. So go and check that vlog out if you want to hear my full thoughts on it. But obviously I loved it, and it is now one of my favourite books of the year. I don't really know how this painting is turning out, to be honest with you. I think it's a bit of a hot mess, but I feel like it's actually quite hard to talk and paint at the same time. But I don't care, I'm enjoying it, which is the main thing. The second to last book that I read is an audiobook, and that is Drag Teen by Jeffrey Self. And I've actually been listening to this for quite a while. I picked it up in the summer, and then I only finished it like last week, maybe, something like that. And this is just a really cute, fun story, and I did end up really enjoying it. And this is a book about drag again, which I absolutely loved and was obviously one of the main reasons why I decided to pick it up. This book is about our main character JT, and he is 18 years old. I think he's 18. He's at the age where they're applying to college, and he decides to, or should I say his boyfriend encourages him to apply for this drag pageant called Miss Drag Teen Palette, something like that. It's basically a drag pageant for teens, and the winner gets a scholarship to the university, as JT can't financially support himself, and his parents just expect him to run the gas station that is their family business once he graduates. So he doesn't want that, so he basically goes off on a road trip with his best friend Heather and his boyfriend Seth to New York and to do this pageant. And it was really fun, it was really cute. I really enjoyed the characters. I do have a few issues with it. My main issue was the factor that I feel like everything was handed to JT, kind of like, because he had like a list of things that he needed to do to kind of prepare himself on this road trip to the pageant. And I feel like everything was handed to him a little bit, which obviously you don't really want that. You want them to kind of earn what they do in, you want the characters to earn what they're doing, you know? They want to earn how the story ends, like especially the very, not the very last scene, but like the last end of it, like after the pageant. Like, I feel like that was just handed to him on a platter, like a gold encrusted platter. So I thought that was a bit, I wasn't sure about that, but in general I thought it was so much fun. I love the aspect of having drag in here and drag pageants as well. I just, generally it was just a really fun book, and I really did end up enjoying it. And if you were looking for more books with drag, I do recommend it. The only character I didn't really like was Heather, which is JT's best friend. Personally, I wasn't a fan of her, but other than that, I really enjoyed this book. And again, I recommend that you go and check it out if you're looking for more books that are related to drag. And the last book that I'm going to be talking about is The Girl and the Goddess by Nikita Gill, and this book is so freaking good. I only discovered that Nikita was coming out with a book, like a novel, just before the release date, which is the beginning of October. And if you don't know who Nikita is, she is a poet, and this is her first novel, and I didn't know much about it, but I was debating whether to pick it up or not. But then she's been releasing some excerpts, I think that's how you say it, on her Instagram, and one of the poems really got me, which is actually the opening poem, and I decided that I had to get it. So I got it, I never read it, and I absolutely loved it. This is basically a coming of age story about our main character named Paro, and Paro lives in India, and it's about her growing up in India and is in like 3 sections, so there's like childhood, teenage and adulthood, and it just discovers so many topics, so many important topics in this book. It's about her growing up, becoming a woman and kind of finding her way in the world. I can't even tell you how good this book is. I feel like Nikita's writing transfers really well into novel writing. I think she does a brilliant job. Obviously it's still in verse, so it's still poetry, but it is also still novel. It's still a novel, obviously it's a poetry novel in verse. I feel like her writing works really well with novel writing, and I love how many topics this book discusses. There are so many topics, there's a lot of trigger warnings. They are listed in the front of the book, so if you want to read this book, just please be aware of all these trigger warnings. There's a lot such as sexual assault, racism and mental health, and so much more, war as well, so much. And honestly, it's brilliant, this book, it's so good. And also this book also talks about the partition that happened in India, and my ignorant ass didn't know anything about this. I don't think I was ever taught it at school, so I learned about that, which I found so interesting, and it's also very heartbreaking hearing about it and how it has affected so many people, and how it is still affecting people in India today. It's very heartbreaking. And this book also talks about Indian culture and about Hindu gods and goddesses, as throughout Para's life growing up, she has all these different gods and goddesses that come to visit her at different points in her life, and they tell her stories. So you hear about all the myths and legends of all these gods in Hindu mythology, which is absolutely amazing. Obviously it is something that I did learn at school, but it's been quite a while since I went to school, so I don't remember a lot of it, but it is absolutely brilliant, this book. I really loved how it ended as well, and just kind of everything about it was fantastic. If you are looking for a new novel in verse, I 100% recommend you go and pick this up. I do not think you will be disappointed. Just be aware of the trigger warnings, like I said, because there are a lot. But it just discovers so many things, and I love seeing Paro come into her own and accept who she is, her identity, and her path in life, being determined to take that step to make a life of her own, despite everybody else's expectations around her. So I absolutely adore this book. so much, and again, another 5 out of 5 star read, and it is definitely one of my favourite books of the year again. So that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's something a bit different and you can't see me paint. I honestly wanted to be able to do this so then you can watch me paint, but I don't really have a decent setup for that. But if you like this video and you want me to do more like paint with me or like draw with me or something, I actually really enjoyed doing this video a lot more like whilst I was doing something else. I think it just takes my mind off things and makes me relax a bit more, which I really enjoyed. And I'll try and show you what I've done. It looks doesn't look very good because I feel like when you're doing a moon with watercolour you have to like layer it up quite a lot. And I've got to try and show you without tipping the paint. But there we go. If you can see, as long as the paint's not dripping. That is my moon so far. No idea what I'm doing because I haven't got a reference picture, but I'm enjoying doing it, which is obviously the main thing when it comes to art. So yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed something different. If you liked this style of video where I kind of, like I said before, do something else like paint or draw whilst talking about videos, then give this video a thumbs up, and I will do more of these in the future. Like I said, definitely enjoyed this style more than other styles of recent read videos that I've done in the past. But yeah, so I've read very much a mixture of books, but 2 books that were absolutely wonderful that are definitely my favourites of the year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments a book that you have read recently, or if you have read any of the books that I've talked about and your opinions on them, because I would love to know as always. If you like this video then please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more bookish videos from me then make sure you hit the subscribe button and little bell icon so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. As always, I will leave the links to my social media along with the links to my Goodreads in the description down below for you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!